Well. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing this evening? This is, oh, y'all hear that? That you know it is time for kicking it with Just Kstylz on a Monday night. And I'm your man, K Styles, the sixth man. Um, Stage left, as you see that guy right there, Mr. Jew, Talk, Sports, the voice of reason, Juju to the bank. And the guy below me, y'all already love him. Y'all might hate him, but at the end of the day, he
That's
know what
more
the
like
hell
it.
he talking about. Mister Mad Mike Sports, the mad
Don't
scientist.
nobody, don't nobody love me. All y'all hate me. Y'all know y'all motherfuckers hate me. Hate my goddamn guts.
Now, if they hated you that much, they wouldn't be watching. So you good.
Come on. Stop.
There you go. Hey, what's going on? Hey, like I said, I asked the people in the chat how y'all doing this evening. I know the Hawks game is kind of on right now, so y'all tuning in with us and watching that game. We appreciate it. You know what we got to do? We got to give the shout outs here. Um, let's go ahead. We're going to shout out the nation. We got Next G Days, Tev Sports and Gaming, Mr. Motivator, Trucker Mike 404. We got Joseph Thornton, Chris White, Dino Mike, Millie Mills, Isaac Krabs, Jamari Williams, Ephraim Jones, Asia Green, Jerry Bowie, Philip Franklin, Redder 4, Marlon H, and Super Cantra 85, Desmond Kappa. Hey, my boy Jarvis done got in here, and Ultra Shadow 97. Devon Stanford, what's good? Hey, you got the homie Twisted Torch in the building. We got Sean Jones and Michael Walker. All right, yeah, y'all want to go ahead and get started. Like I said, everybody in the chat, how y'all doing? I hope y'all day's been going by so far, so good. But let's go ahead and get to the first topic we got for tonight. Um, I think it'd be interesting if I start off with this. We got the Atlanta Falcons at $14.87 million in cap space after the whole Julio trade.
Ooh,
What does that mean? that
Y'all know what that means? Y'all know what I
we
mean?
don't know. Hey, Mike, we don't know what that means, man. What?
Y'all freak going crazy over that money, boy. Y'all freak going crazy over that money, boy.
Exactly.
We
That's
want
the money.
we want everybody, boy. They want everybody. Them freaks going crazy over that money, boy.
Hey. We talking about Xavien Howard later. Let's go ahead and get to what this is. Now, I did want to kind of get y'all thoughts on this. As we all know that with this $14.87 million in cap space, half of that is going to go into this year's rookie class. I want to know what do y'all think about as far as what they should do with the rest of the money. Mike, I'll let you go ahead and go first with that one.
I don't know what the hell you just said. Repeat that. My bad. I'm in producer mode. I forgot all.
Hold
my bad, bro. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Hold on, wait a minute. Okay.
I'm
Okay,
sorry,
we
man.
good.
I'm sorry.
Oh, but like I said, with the $14.8 million in salary cap, as we know, half of that's going to go. Half of that's going to the draft class. I wanted to know what your take would be on what they should do with the rest of it.
We have some nice veteran. We have some nice young players. I think I probably just gave it away, but I think we should go after some veteran guys that can kind of add to what these young guys already like. I think we signed like 30 guys, 20, 30 guys that are young on the roster. So it's like going out and get guys who can kind of help these guys. Well, one thing that I think they should really focus on is more so, use the veteran guys early during the year, and then the later half of the year. That's when you start playing the young guys a little bit more because we already know um, these guys are very. I think they're very good. We got a guy like Isaiah Oliver, who in my opinion is primed to take a huge start into stardom. I mean, you guys know that I pretty much predicted him to be a Pro Bowler that have not yet to come to pass. We still don't know what Kendall Sheffield is. We still don't know what Kaminsky, Marlon Davidson. So what we can do early in the career, and I think not early in the career, but early in the season, got to get off to a fast start. So using these veterans early in the game, leaning on these veterans like Matt Ryan. As much as we say run the damn ball, I think we should come out passing the ball because we gotta establish. We gotta get off to a fast start because if we don't get off to a fast start, there's gonna be a damn riot. All right, there's gonna be a riot. Why in the hell y'all didn't just draft a quarterback? Why y'all didn't draft a quarterback? So I believe you gotta have go out and get a veteran, maybe like a Justin Houston. I like Justin Houston. Bring him in. I think he's exactly what they need on the defensive side of the ball. He can play a 4-3 and 3-4. So I mean, he can stand up. He can move around. I think he's the perfect one. But we gotta start off fast, and we're not going to start off fast with a young roster.
Oh man, that sounds real good right there. Like I said, go ahead, Jew. Let's see what your take is on that.
I think I'll piggyback on what Mike said. As far as we need to bring in a veteran. A veteran, I'll say on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like on the offense we have enough, but on the defense, because we let go of a guy like Julio, and no matter who you bring in, they're not going to have that impact. Like I seen some rumors saying maybe the Falcons bring in another receiver. I think we have enough depth on the offense. I think we need to bring in somebody on the defensive line because that's where you guys know I love the trenches. So whether it's another defensive tackle that's going to come in next to Grady right away, like a Geno Atkins, that we know is going to be a problem, and you're going to have to double team him. Or I'll say go with a defensive end like a Justin Houston. You guys remember, I always go back 2016, the year we should have won the Super Bowl. You had Dwight Freeney. He was that guy that came in. He's guaranteed to give you about 3 to 5 sacks easy. He did, and that's what we need. So Justin Houston, I didn't even realize he had a season of 22 sacks, which is, I think, the second highest sack total in the NFL history in one of his seasons in his prime. So Justin Houston's been with the Colts the last 2 seasons, and he's played really well. And it looks like he still has some juice left in the tank. So he would be the first guy I would look at. Melvin Ingram from the Chargers is another guy I would look at, but he's dealt with injuries over the last couple seasons. That's the reason that the Chargers decided not to keep him and extend him. So you know how I feel about injuries. I'm tired of injured players. So if you show any signs of injury, Judon wants you on his team. So Melvin Ingram, as much as I love him, I'm tired of injuries. That's been our problem over the last 3 to 5 years. It's just injuries. As much as I love the guy like Keanu Neal, I couldn't vouch for the injuries that he's had. The same thing with Ricardo Allen. Those guys had those serious leg injuries, and we know those lower extremity injuries, you never know when something's gonna pop. And that was the issue with how can you as a GM basically vouch for paying a guy like a Keanu Neal big money who's had injuries, like he's had serious injuries, like season-ending injuries. That's the same thing with a guy like Melvin Ingram. He's had season-ending injuries. So with that being said, Justin Houston will be the number one guy. Him or Geno Atkins will be the 2 guys that I'm looking at. But I think we need one of those veterans on the defensive line because we got a lot of unknown players. Jacob Tuioti Mariner, guys that we don't really know what they are. John Kaminsky, he talked about it. Copeland, Barkevius Mingo. We don't have that legitimate guy that's got over 10 sacks in the season. So I really think we need to go out and solidify the defensive line. Go out and get a guy that's proven And that's going to put strike fear in some of these offensive lines' heart. Because right now, the guys that we got, they might go out and shock the world, and do more better than a lot of people are expecting them to do. But we don't have that one guy that's going to give you a heart attack when you line up in front of him. And Dwight Freeney, when he was here in 2016, a lot of those offensive tackles, they heart stopped before the ball snapped. So they knew that they didn't know if he was going to hit that spin move on him. They didn't know what he was going to do. Because I call him the sack master. That dude, Dwight Freeney, he had all the moves. So we need a guy like that that's proven and that has shown that he's a guy that could be possibly a guy that can get you 10 sacks in his pass. So I say Justin Houston is the guy I would go after.
Oh well. Well, it look like with the Justin Houston thing, I think a lot of people in this chat kind of agree on that because that's like the main name that I'm seeing here. Yes, Justin Houston will definitely be a good fit. I think, like you said, that veteran leadership, a guy that has done it at the highest level, is something that this defense definitely needs. But I'm gonna go with another name too that y'all haven't said. That's Jarrell Casey. Now he might be one of those that might be dealing with a little bit of the injury side the last couple years, but you're talking about a guy that is experienced in this defense and what the expectation is of Dean Pease and how Arthur Smith likes to run ship. And I think that transition to these guys and getting them adapted to this new system is be a lot easier if you get a Jarrell Casey. Um, yeah, Dwight Freeney, man. Hey, we used to call him the washing machine because he was always spinning. He was always spinning. But he got there. He got there. He had one move, but it always worked. But yeah, I definitely see that. Melvin Ingram, that's kind of an iffy for me. I could see it, but I think it'll be more so on that defensive line. Like you said, Jarrell Casey, maybe Geno Atkins. Like you said, Justin Houston is another one. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Like I said, everybody kind of agrees with everybody. Let's see what some of these comments got here. Yeah, like I said, Isaac Crowder, said Houston done had 19 sacks in the last 2 seasons. Hell, that's more than what we done had the last 4-5 seasons. So yeah, that's a definite upgrade. Let's see. The show enough said that Houston's best days are behind him, but he can show the youngsters how it's done. That's definitely that's a plus right there. Chapman said they're developing that relationship, which is paramount because in the first time in a long time, Matt finally has a coach that will put him in position to win. Yes, because I heard he said he wants to be taught by Arthur Smith, so they're going to reset the mindset and get out of that mindset of the farmer friend. That thing is like toxic to us right now. That toxic system, toxic mindset. But Ricardo King says, "What about a corner?" Oh, that's very interesting. You say that. We're gonna say
no.
Where it say to the no.
All right. In other words,
hold on.
No. All right. Why I say that? We got corners. Let AJ play. We don't know what he can be a megastar. You keep on signing all these corners. You don't know what Sheffield is. You don't know, Isaiah Oliver has shown that he can play great. He can play great in the slot, and he's with an established defensive lineman, defensive coach. He is an established defensive coach. Dan Quinn, God bless him, but he wasn't established. And then we see now. You go back to that Seattle team, it's like that Seattle team was just a flash in the pan. They were just one of those anomalies in the league that not even you can't say that Pete Carroll was the architect because there hasn't been another Legion of Boom in Seattle. So that was one of those anomalies that happens in the NFL. So when I look at it, we gotta see what we have first before we start signing all these other players, okay? And if those guys are here around 5, 6, we get off to a poor start defensively, that's when you bring in guys, a corner that can kind of, take the reign off whatever the issue is. But we got Sheffield, all right? Let's be honest. Sheffield was really left on the island a lot of games last year. He had no big look, a lot of times you saw, especially the Tampa Bay game. I mean, we saw absolutely no adjustments. They left that kid out on the island several times. And it's almost like, what they did to Tack and Vic. They gave those guys no help. They gave those guys no help and say, all right, we believe in you, go get sacks. And they didn't do anything to help those guys. They didn't the great help that they did have, they let them walk to New England and Adrian Claiborne. But after that, they didn't do anything to help those guys. So you got to see what these guys, let's see what Marlon Davidson, let's see what Kaminsky and Graham, those guys have before we start going in and signing all these. Especially, I mean, it may be an injury, in training camp, God forbid that, but I don't think they should go out and sign a high level corner because you got to give these guys an opportunity to show what they can do.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Ryan Chilled on here. It's pretty much kind of like, let's just see what these guys can do. But like you said, before we start really dipping into that money, because we always said that it wasn't so much of the players that we had to deal with, but it was the scheme itself. Because, like I said, coaching is everything. So if these guys are showing that they can do it by themselves, you don't necessarily have to bring in a slew of talent out of free agency. You might just need one leader, one guy for leadership, and that's just on a desperate level. I ain't even gonna say a desperate level. That's just somebody if you feel like somebody's not stepping up to be a leader, just bringing that one extra guy, like you said, a Justin Houston, Jarrell Casey, somebody that's done it. But I'm kind of
I like Casey. So I like that keep jumping. I'm cool with Gino, but I just feel as though he may going a bit too much money. He gonna want to get paid. I'm just I don't think we can offer him $3 million. Maybe he'll take it, but I think he's gonna want at least $5 million, at the very minimum $5 million. I mean, you see guys like Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley, for the most part, we signed him a 5-year deal. So I think that's exactly where, especially for a defensive tackle, his caliber and his resume, that man wanted to get paid, man.
Yeah, cause I'm more so of a fan of just letting that money roll over the next year, because you never know, you might need that extra $6-7 million to pay a 4-year Louis Kahn when the time comes. I need that $6-7 million if you're gonna have to extend somebody else. So, like I said, just do with the guys you got right now. Like I said, the mentalities in camp is a whole lot different than what it was the last few years, as far as everybody being.
I so apologize. I so apologize, but this comment is, oh my God! Stop. Stop.
Hold on. Let's read it out loud, shall we?
Yeah. Please.
Shane Elliott said Vic and Tack was first-round picks. They should have been good enough to not need any help, because that is why you draft them for.
What?
Have you heard of first-round bust?
How many busts that have had help and they were still bust? Oh, God. What does the great Bill Belichick always say?
Coaching,
him and Randy Moss was synonymous with one quote. Please quote that.
He said players are not good without good coaching. Players ain't shit. I'm just gonna say it like that.
Yeah, it's basic as that. You cannot win games. You can't win games with a shitty game plan. You will never be able to outcoach. You will never be able to outplay bad coaching. Bad coaching, bad play calling, you will never be able to. You will never be able. So just because they were first round pick doesn't mean they're destined to be great. All right, you got to be able to put these guys in position to win. All right, you got to be like. Let's just say, for instance, if all right, this is the thing that we always said what was wrong with the Atlanta Falcons. All right, this is why we had last year. We just had why weren't we throwing the ball more to Hayden Hurst? Why weren't we throwing more to Hayden Hurst, especially in short yardage situation? He has the speed. The dude runs like a 4.5. He is a great athlete, and we weren't using him. Go, Jew. I see you chomping at the bit. Go ahead.
Hold on. Let me hit this comment right here, because for some reason this comment just makes a whole lot of sense to me. Hold on. This comment makes so much sense to me, but it sounds wrong, but it sounds right. He said you cannot lose games in this league and win.
Right.
Yes,
right. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
You cannot put these players in horrendous. You can't put these guys in horrendous positions and then expect them to put up 10 sacks. Right? Come on. He's playing against. He doesn't have help. This is what Grady Jarrett. This is why we say why Grady Jarrett is not getting double-digit sacks. Well, do you see who's behind him? Do you see who's beside him? Grady is getting triple teamed. I've seen multiple games where the dude is literally getting triple teamed. Okay, you can't say that. And this is why, like I said, why am I saying this? You go back to the Super Bowl year. Vic Beasley for a perfect example, prime example. Guess what? You had Rashid Haven, all right? The guy that played all across the line. He played every position across the line. That's one guy. Two guys, all right? You just said it, Kstylz, all right? You just said it. Dwight Freeney. He was a veteran. And another guy that I just said, Adrian Claiborne. These guys were absolutely amazing for that rotation. So when you put guys around them, that one player is going to play so much better. Go ahead.
You forgot two more in that rotation too.
I know I did.
Courtney Upshaw, Jonathan Babineau.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. We don't have that.
And that's why I feel like Geno Atkins is not really wouldn't fit here in Atlanta, only because he's basically Grady Jarrett. They're basically two of the same damn type of type. He need a big guy next to him.
Right.
That's why I feel like Jarrell Casey come in at. But go ahead, Drew. I know you've been chomping at the bit for a second.
Yeah, when Mike said what quote, I thought he was talking about straight cash on me when he said Randy Moss, but
straight cash on me. That was too.
Straight cash on me. But when y'all were just talking about the whole Vic Beasley, I'm getting tired of hearing Vic Beasley name in the same sentence with Pat McKinley. They're two different players. Vic Beasley wasn't a bust. Like, can we stop saying Vic Beasley was a bust? This man led the league in sacks. How can you be a bust and lead the league in sacks? That don't even make sense. So can we just stop saying that? He earned his keep with just doing that, just having that one season where he led the league in sacks. So that man wasn't a bust. And if you look at his stats when he was here, and I've been looking at the best pass rushers in the game, or who we consider the best pass rushers in the game. Go look at Khalil Mack's numbers over the last couple seasons with the Chicago Bears. He hasn't had double-digit sacks. So we hated on Vic Beasley. I believe his last season here in Atlanta, he had like 6 to 7 sacks. Last season, a guy like Khalil Mack only had 9.5 sacks. So we really took Vic Beasley for granted. How many times have we heard Mike say, us as fans, we're spoiled. Atlanta Falcons fans are spoiled. We got spoiled with guys like Jonathan Abraham that was here and consistently got 10 sacks. But when he was here, we treated him like crap. Let's be honest. We didn't pay him the money he deserved. We let him walk to Arizona. Arizona paid him, and he still proved that he had tread left on the tires. Same thing with Adrian Claiborne. So let's stop calling Vic Beasley a bust. You can call Pat McKinley a bust because he's never had a double-digit sack season. He's a guy that was only averaging like 2 to 3 sacks a year, and he could never get on the field because he was always injured. So he goes in that category as a bust. Vic Beasley is not a bust. I know we've seen the year that he was drafted, Everybody wanted us to draft Todd Gurley, but at the end of the day, Vic Beasley played a great role on that 2016 season. If we don't have Vic Beasley on that 2016 season, we may not make the Super Bowl. If you go and look, he made a lot of strip sack fumbles. You go back to the game against the LA Rams, strip sack, ran it in for a touchdown. Like Vic Beasley was playing with his hair on fire. You go back to the Super Bowl, the last touchdown, before the touchdown by James White, Vic Beasley floats in the end zone and almost intercepts the ball on a pass they try to throw in the back of the end zone. So Vic Beasley to me, he had a decent career here in Atlanta. We got rid of him because we didn't feel like he lived up to the billing. But to me, I don't consider Vic Beasley a bust. It's a lot of guys that would love to lead the league in sacks. So let's just stop talking about Vic Beasley being a bust. The dude was not a bust. We didn't use him correctly. We're dropping the guy, our best pass rusher at the time. We're dropping him back into coverage. We blame Dan Quinn for that. He was not using that guy in the proper way. He was not bringing any blitz schemes. He was not doing anything, moving Vic Beasley around where he can be successful. So let's stop. Let's just end it right there. I don't want to hear Vic Beasley and Pat McKinley in the same sentence no more because they're two separate players. In my book, Vic Beasley is light years better than a guy like Pat McKinley. Pat McKinley is all talk. Vic Beasley was more like a Julio Jones. He never said anything. I don't even know what Vic Beasley voice sound like. Do y'all got any sound bites for a guy like Vic Beasley?
Nope.
I don't know what Vic Beasley sound like.
No. But I was gonna say, yeah, they had started using Vic Beasley like they did Croy Bierman. And y'all remember that experiment kind of failed miserably.
Yeah.
I had to
because we don't respect our players.
Right.
I just go back to what you were saying, not to cut you off. We don't respect when we have talent here and we can pay them. Mike goes back to Dontari Poe. The year Dontari Poe was here, we made the playoffs. That was the last year we made the playoffs when we actually had a legitimate nose tackle here. They let that man walk and he only wanted, I don't even remember. Mike know the number. He didn't want that much money. The dude just wanted what? About
it was $8 million and they didn't want to give him
$8 million. That's all that man wanted. $8 million. We could have gave that man that $8 million. But we seen when we let go of the big uglies up front, when the game is won in the trenches.
If I'm not mistaken, we used that money to sign Mohamed Sanu, extend Mohamed Sanu. If I'm not mistaken, I remember they signed an offensive player with that money.
See, there you go. Prissy football. I talk about it all the time. Instead of taking care of the trenches, we went out and got another receiver or extended a receiver necessarily that we didn't need. And we drafted Calvin Ridley, who at the time we really didn't need because we got to a Super Bowl without him. So it just goes to show you how important the trenches are. We took it for granted. We allowed all those guys to walk. Another guy y'all left off that list in that rotational pass rush is Brooks Reed. Brooks Reed was another guy who was on this team as a rotational pass rusher that got key sacks in that 2016 season. So we just got to keep that in mind. When we had that rotational pass rush here, I talk about it all the time. How do you end games? Pass rush, run the ball, get stops.
Mm-hmm. And Tony Wright made a point here. He said Dontari Poe was a big reason why the Falcons defense was 8th in total defense in 2017. Smithers, what the fuck was you thinking not signing this guy back?
Yeah, it's just that 1-2 punch. That's why I said when you have a great defensive tackle like Grady Jarrett, you got to get him some help, and that's something that we didn't do. Like as a matter of fact, I'm almost certain that exactly what's happened because if I'm not mistaken, the Falcons, it was 2016 and then 17 that bounce back year when they brought in Dontari Poe. Yeah, I believe it was. That's exactly what we did. We gave the money to the we extended because I think he signed like a 2-year deal, a 1 or 2 year deal, and we gave it to a receiver. So that's something that we always do. We always give money to the offensive side of the ball, and we don't take care of the trenches. It's like even though our offensive line, we don't take care of the offensive line. We get these, we sign these, running back, we sign these, these corners for $3-4 million, and you bring in guys like I forget his name again, but it was a defensive tackle that they signed for like a couple of, I think he played for the Redskins, but his name will come to me, but we paid him McLean, that's who it was. And dude was like a journeyman. And I
Yeah.
mean, dude was absolute trash. Dude was absolute trash. You know what I'm saying? Like he never wanted to really put the assets into the defensive line.
And Chapman here said, plus Beasley was projected to be a 3-4 outside linebacker. We put him as a 4-3 defensive end. Yeah.
Well, not even that. Like it's not so much that he played 3-4 the 4-3. Like we said, it's just you have to get these guys some help up front. That it was no defensive line depth whatsoever. So you can't expect Vic Beasley to be the sole, him and Grady Jarrett to be the sole, you know, the sole guys for pass rush. Like you can't expect him at that age without a Vic Beasley, without a Dwight Freeney to kind of get him ready. Like these guys are veterans. We didn't. That was another thing that a lot of his peers questioned with Dan Quinn. It was like, what are you doing? Why don't you have veterans on this team? He thought the coaching staff was good enough to just have a Vic Beasley and Tack McKinley get those guys to where they need to be, but that's not always the case. You need guys on that field that's going to teach those guys on the field, because when you're on the field, you're not listening to the coach. The coach is not on the field with you. The players are on the field with you. They're going to have those conversations, before snap, pre-snap, after snap. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be saying things to each other. So that's when veterans come on. That's when veterans come in the hand, when you're on field. So that's why we saw a lot of blown games last year, because we didn't have those veteran guys. And then when we saw those veteran guys get playing time, a la Bleedy Ray Wilson, you saw those guys get interceptions. So this is why you have to have veteran coaches. You have to have veteran players. It has to be a balance.
Okay, I want to hit this comment from Makari Weems here. He said there's players like Everson Griffin and Daniel Hunter who got more pressure on quarterbacks and don't get the recognition. I'll take pressures versus sacks. I've heard that comment before. I don't know if y'all remember Mike Smith used to say that all the time, that sacks was overrated.
That's some bullshit.
And
I'm sorry.
there was
That's some bullshit.
and there was another thing too. Tad McKinley by Pro Football Focus in 2018 was the highest rated pressure guy as far as defensive ends in the
NFL. That's why I said what I just said. Pressures don't mean you're actually doing a very good job. That just basically means you beat your guy. Okay, that's what pressures mean. So what we really need is what I was just saying. We need multiple guys who can get after the quarterback. Why? Because you're collapsing the pocket. It's not just one guy. You can focus on one guy. Now you got four guys coming at a quarterback, and where he's going to go. Where's he going to go when you got four guys coming at you versus one or two guys? You can step up, you can run around it, but when you got four guys, this guy can take this side, and that guy can take that side, and he has nowhere to go. All right, this is the best visual you can get.
Oh man. And like I said, as y'all know, right now the Hawks are down 55-40. Just to get that little update right there. But yeah, I definitely feel like I want to go ahead and get into this next one that been circling around the internet right now, and there is a rumor going around that Dolphins cornerback Xavien Howard the Falcons are looking into him. I know Malik Hooker was like the main one everybody was talking about, but this one just came out a couple days ago. Yes, Mr. Xavien Howard as a potential Falcon. We said earlier, we don't need any more damn defensive backs. But But I'm gonna ask y'all this, and I'm gonna let you hit this one first. Is, do you feel like if this is the case, and do you think you would take on a defensive back for Xavien Howard, or do you just, like I say, just let it go and let these guys do what they do here?
this could be real tricky. This could get real tricky because I actually went and watched this tape, and I like how the way that he attacks the football. Last season, this man had 10 interceptions, but sometimes when you bring in a veteran guy or pay a guy a lot of money, you can stunt the growth. And that's what Mike, I think, was trying to talk about, like an AJ Terrell. Like AJ Terrell right now is the CB1. So you bring in a guy like Howard, Xavien Howard, it could be a problem, being that you could stunt the growth of a guy like AJ Terrell. I like that AJ Terrell last year was following around the best wide receiver. When we played the Saints, he was following around Michael Thomas. I like that because that's going to help him grow. Like a lot of the mistakes we seen AJ Terrell make last year, he got beat on a couple double moves. He dropped the interception against Tyreek Hill when he basically had the game sealing interception. He dropped it. You know, that comes with time development. So I completely agree with what Mike was saying earlier. Now, I would love to have a Xavien Howard on the team, but one thing that bothers me, I just read the article earlier about the rumors that's swirling. They're talking about the main reason he wants out of Miami is because he wants more money. And I don't like to hear that because we just dealt with Julio Jones in the contract situations. And I don't like when a player just wants to be traded over money. I want a player that wants to win first and his team first. I want you to get your money. Don't get me wrong. I want you to get your money. But from what I'm hearing, last year they signed Byron Jones from the Cowboys. He makes $2 more million than he makes. So basically, Xavien Howard, I heard, was making $12 million, and Byron Jones is making $14 million. He feels a certain type of way because he led the league in interceptions. They brought in a guy similar to what we're talking about. He was the number one, the CB1. They brought in a guy to kind of be that CB1 or be that next guy when they brought in Byron Jones, and he kind of got offended by him getting that big contract. So I feel like at this point, we don't necessarily need another guy like that. That's me, that just want to move for money. We don't need that on the Atlanta Falcons right now. I feel like you let these young players continue to develop and blossom because I believe AJ Terrell is going to be a star, point blank in the period. And I don't believe, you guys know what I believe. The game is won in the trenches. I'd rather have elite pass rushers than elite corners. I've never believed in building from the back to the front. I always believe in build from the front to the back. And if I can get home, I don't need great corners. I talk about that all the time. Look at this Kansas City Chiefs. They don't have great corners. You can't name their corners. You don't need that, though. You don't need great corners. If you can get home, and that ball has to come out now because that pressure is getting home, you don't need great corners. The Buccaneers, they don't have great corners. They won a Super Bowl last year because of that defensive line. You got Ndamukong Suh. You have JPP. You have I can't think of the other guy that they just signed who played for Denver. Barnett, I believe his name is, if I'm not mistaken. You got those guys on that defensive line. So you don't need great cornerbacks and great safeties. You just need a couple guys. So we have AJ Terrell, who's the CB1 on this team. And to be honest, if you get pay a guy like Xavien Howard to bring him in, eventually we can have another contract situation where when it's time to pay AJ Terrell, we don't have that money because we're tied up in that Xavien Howard contract. So personally, I'm good on Xavien Howard because I'm hearing that he just wants to move because of money. I'm good on that. I think AJ Terrell is a soon-to-be star, and I want to see what these young guys got. You know, we got Fabian Monroe we just brought in on a reasonable deal, and he has the size, he has the speed. We may have 2 lockdown corners on this team already. So I feel like give these young guys a chance because if you look at the best teams that consistently win are the teams that win with their players on rookie contracts. The biggest mistake that our Falcons made was in 2016. We didn't capitalize on that Super Bowl because we had a lot of guys that were rookies in that Super Bowl. Deion Jones, those guys were playing for minimum contracts on rookie deals. And that was one of the main reasons we had the money to go out and bring in the depth that we're talking about. Us being able to go out and get the White Freedy. We had a lot of guys on rookie contracts. So I feel like the Falcons need to capitalize on guys like Richie Grant. If Richie Grant is a Pro Bowler and he's a rookie, we got him for the next 3 or 4 years on a cheap contract, which is going to help us in the long run because next year, like you were talking about, Kstylz, when this money will out to flow over to next year, you can go out and get a big name defensive end if Dante Fowler doesn't prove himself this year. But if you go out and start bringing in guys like Xavien Howard, and I call them mercenaries, you start bringing mercenaries in, that's when you kill your cap. And I really think the Tennessee, they may have just done that with trying to get Julio. I know we done talking about Julio, but I really think the Tennessee might have messed up because now they had to rework Ryan Tannehill's new deal. They're going to have to rework a lot of guys' deals to keep that team together. You don't think Derrick Henry's going to want more money? You don't think A.J. Brown is going to want more money? So players are always going to want more money. So at the end of the day, I feel like development is key. New England, what do? They get rid of their star players and they develop the guys that they have. So the Falcons need to learn how to develop what we have. Stop going out and get mercenaries. We've seen it last year with Todd Gurley. I love Todd Gurley, but we really could have did without Todd Gurley last year. We be honest. We didn't run the ball anyway. So that $5 or $6 million we gave Todd Gurley, we could have helped the defense out and brought in another pass rusher, another corner last year that could have helped the team, or brought in another safety. But we're so used to the big name guy. We always want to go out and grab the big, whoever's on the market. We want to grab that big name guy, and sometimes that comes back to bite you.
Hey man, he said it all right there.
Hey, put fire brimstone all in the chat. He just hit on some stuff right there.
Hey, to add to that just a bit, he pretty much said it, but to kind of add to that, one of the reasons why the Falcons are in Cap Hill right now is because we gave those stars who wanted more money. We want to keep getting. We could have done if we drafted properly. We could have done without the Robert Alford extension. We could have done without the Devontae Freeman. We had no business giving him that much money. We could have done without the Mohamed Sanu contract. We should have never gave him that money. That's why we ultimately traded him. You go to the James Carpenter, Jamon Brown, those guys. Like, it's so much money that they spent on crap. If they just would have used those picks properly, and this is where we're going now. Those guys are using those picks, and this is the recipe for success. And you kind of touched on it with the Patriots. The Patriots if they only give one person, maybe two people, that massive contract. And that's Tom Brady and maybe a corner. On the deep, they did that with
Gilmore.
They only give one or two people these massive contracts because they know those massive contracts, even they end up putting you in cap hell. So, like, what the recipe for success is: load up on picks. If you need a veteran player to kind of complete the defense or add, an extra pass rusher or a run defender, you can go out and get the best one in it. But you can only sign. You can sign those guys to a 2-3 year 3-year contract deal, which essentially is a 1 or 2 year deal, and you're good. But the Falcons didn't do that. We spent way too much money on our homegrown talent. As we want to speak, homegrown talent. Where we should have used those picks the proper way to build the team. We didn't do that. We spent way too much money. And again, that's why I said what I said earlier. It's like we get so caught up. Everybody will see money and everybody want to spend money. That's not how you're supposed to do things. You're going to end up in Cap Hill like we are now.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like I said, I rather just stick with what the guys we got here, because you never know. You might have some gems here. And instead of trying to overload it and trying to pay based on names itself, this could be a no-name defense that could shock some people. Hey, that's what the new coaching staff is here for. They're here to implement a new system. Like I said, these players it's going to be a friendly sifting where these guys can be able to play their game. Drew, like I said, Drew hit on some points. Mike, you hit on some points too on that. I just rather just wait it out and, like I said, just let the money roll over the next year, because like I said, you never know. You never know.
And like, to kind of add to that, Kstylz, like you just said, it's like, for one, you bringing in these other guys for these big contracts, you may have made those guys feel some type of way. I'm up here busting my ass, and you up here giving Devontae Freeman fucking $42 million for a year, and I'm the reason why we sharing the ball, but y'all gave him $42 million. What about Coleman? That was the real reason why Devontae was so successful. He wasn't the main star. Those guys together were doing it. So $42 million, it just wasn't a wise decision. You got to be able, like I said, even when you go back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Ravens, the Patriots, all the best teams, they don't overspend in free agency. And when they do, guess what? They getting the best guy that's available. And that may be once or twice. And that's it. But they don't overspend. We overspent on homegrown talent. They felt like they didn't want to give Antonio Brown wanted more money. And it was like, all right, bye. Antonio Brown ain't been the same since. So we can't keep bowed out. Le'Veon Bell, that's another one. And
y'all see what's going on
now. Yes.
Y'all see what they're going on with that there. Hey, I was about to say, and you remember when Freeman got that contract, remember the running back who was showing out in the playoffs those 2 years. It wasn't Freeman. It was Coleman.
Yeah.
And Mike made this point a while back ago as far as before the draft goes. The greatest addition is doing nothing at all.
Bam. Yep.
Just like the best thing can happen, like I said, you can, like I said about the Julio thing, addition by subtraction. Like I said, you never know, because at the end of the day, this league is all about coaching. New England Patriots ain't had no real big mega star splashes in the draft for shit for damn near 20 years.
Right.
They had sprinkles. They had sprinkles here and there and stuff like that. But if you look at the majority of those teams that won Super Bowls, these were third round picks or later. They had a sprinkle of first rounds and second rounders, but that's not what it was about. It was all about finding players that fit in a system. It don't even matter where you were drafted at. The difference between the difference between a first round pick and a seventh round pick is about $20-30 million. That's it.
Make a good living off of that. You make a good living off of that. You can get 4 or 5 other players with that $20 million. You can literally get 4 or 5 other players with that $20 million that you just overpaid for. As much as I love Julio, I wouldn't have given him $66 million. I thought that was over the top. Did he work hard for it? Absolutely. But like, we paid way too much money too early for him. That's what really stopped us from getting. We had a whole nother year. But he whined and he complained and he bitched and he moaned, and they ain't have no choice because they don't want to be a small ball organization and like not giving it to him. So, like I said, I think Kstylz just said it's like like that with both of you guys. You said it. I don't want players that going to come to a team just for money purposes. That already tell me that you don't give a dang about your teammates. You don't care about winning. You're trying to get paid first and foremost.
Exactly. You want to lead the Dolphins, who was like borderline almost a playoff team, to come to the 4-12 Falcons, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much sense did that make? I mean, that shows me right there. That tells me right there that it's just all about the money. So I don't want no player to just come in here for money. We just dealt with that. And once you cuff yourself like we did with Julio, what do you do once that player wants out and you're giving them that money, and now your cap is pretty much wrecked? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like homegrown, develop the players you have. Like, a lot of people forget, we always talk about the Legion of Boom, but what people don't realize about the Legion of Boom was those guys were just drafted. That was a great draft. Cam Chancellor was a 5th round pick that turned out to be a Pro Bowl talent. Richard Sherman, he wasn't a 1st round pick either. I think he was like a 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah.
And all of those guys, when they won the Super Bowl, none of those guys had gotten paid yet. All of those guys were on rookie contracts. Every single one of them. Earl Thomas was on the And once those guys started getting paid, that's when everything went downhill with the Legion of Boom. Like after they got paid, they were never the same. They were never the same. Once Russell Wilson got that contract, animosity, in the locker room, the whole plane went down after those guys got paid. So, it's all about drafting. If you can draft well, like the picks that we got, that second and fourth round pick that we got for Julio, it's going to be up to Terry Fontenot to go out and draft. Like we said, Tom Brady was not a top pick. This dude was a late draft pick. Turns out everybody calls him the GOAT. So
another one. We literally just saw what happened to the Saints. This is exactly what stopped the Saints run. When they went out and got buried for that $50-60 million contract, it's been cap hell for them ever since.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, after he led the league in interceptions, he ended up going there and leading the league and sitting down on the bench.
Right.
But that's one of those cases where free agent, like I said, if you're just gonna base it just on the name itself, as far as free agency, that's a 50-50 chance that you kill your team. Just like y'all said with the Legion of Boom. Like I said, the Legion of Boom broke up because they changed the identity of that team from Legion of Boom to Russell Wilson's team.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But they won it all when he was on his rookie deal. So that's how they made out in that situation. See, we had our chance. We had Devondre Campbell. We had Deion Jones. All of them guys on rookie contract. We had a healthy Keanu Neal that was playing on the Pro Bowl level. All those guys were rookies. So if you can win a Super Bowl when those guys are young like that, before you got to pay anybody, because these are not the days of old. Like those old 70s Steelers where you could keep your team together because there was no salary cap. You could overpay everybody. Them days are over. Like the days of building a dynasty, other than New England, which I put an asterisk by their dynasty because they cheated pretty much the whole time through it. So I put an asterisk by their dynasty. But if you look at it, you don't see those teams winning consecutive Super Bowls back to back to back like the Cowboys in the 90s. Back then, there was no salary cap. You could get away with overpaying the best. But now, where it's a hard cap league, you got to know what you're doing. When you're working that cap, you got to know exactly what you're doing. If you mess that cap up, you see what the Falcons are looking like due to that, due to the cap issues. It really handcuffs what you can actually do as far as going out and bringing in players. So we should have learned from the past regime that was here that the talent we have to use these guys. Because if you think about it, we went out and signed Tyler Davidson. We had a guy in Deidre Sanat sitting right here under a rookie contract. See what this dude can do. We went 4-12 anyway. See what these other guys can do. Like we paying guys. I think we paid Tyler Davidson like $10 million or something like that for 2 years, 2-3 years, and he ain't did nothing worth that. He ain't did nothing. So it's like you got all these guys. We paid Devontae Freeman. We got all these running backs. Quadra Olsen, Ito Smith hardly playing. Brian Hill hardly playing. You got all these running backs that's not playing. That's not even dressing on Sundays. You going out and bringing in a guy like Todd Gurley, and that's what I was talking about by holding players back. We don't know what Quadra Olsen can do. He might have gave us more last year, but this dude riding the bench. This dude ain't even seeing the field. So it's like that's money you could have saved. You could have had in your back pocket. But instead of saving for a rainy day, we were blowing it, blowing that money.
Right. And Bruce Wayne here says players today are too pacified and entitled to play gritty football. They just do enough to get paid and then fall off or start preserving their body.
Boy. Yes, sir.
Well, you have to blame the Players Association for that, because now the way that these players are playing now, they're playing more so as independent contractors now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the mindset is going. Like I said, that kind of situation is what hurt Le'Veon Bell out of Pittsburgh after Pittsburgh, because he sat out that year and he thought he was gonna make a lot of money. Found out he wasn't making as much, and he took the best offer he could, and they ended up cutting him after 1 year.
Right.
So this is why we always say the grass ain't always green on the other side.
There you go. The grass is greener where you water it, dog. That's the way the grass is green at. I mean, we seen, yeah, man. And that's what I don't like. I hate talking about the Julio situation. We done with Julio, but I'm saying I think he's gonna see the same thing. It's like you just made this lateral move. Yeah, you might get your money at the end of the day, but as far as winning, when he said I want to win, that's not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about when you play for the money, you taking that risk. Le'Veon Bell sat out a year, got out of football shape and things of that nature, and you never know. Like the only way to stay in football shape is playing football, to be honest. So he sat out that year thinking like I'm gonna get paid, I'm gonna get top dollar. He ended up actually throwing himself over. A lot of the time, you better off just playing through your contract and doing it the right way. Because you see Dak Prescott, he played through it, he got injured, but he got his money. He forced him to give him his money because what happened when he got hurt? He had to go to the backup, and the backup proved that Dak was worth the money he was asking for, or at least he was better than what they had. You know what I'm saying? Andy Dalton. So even though he got hurt, a lot of people said Dak took that risk. He forced Jerry Jones in that front office to pay him because they seen the fans, as Mike said, those Dallas Cowboys fans was gonna ride if Dak didn't get that money after they seen how bad the team looked when he went down. And I'm not the biggest Dak supporter, but hey, he was better than what they had. He was better than Andy Dalton. Light years better than Andy Dalton. So at the end of the day, sometimes you better off just playing out that contract. So I really kind of blame it on Le'Veon Bell, but I blame it on his agent as well, because whoever is representing you got to do a better job of letting you know, like, you better off just going in there. And his whole team, his teammates turned on him for the Steelers. So I knew that situation was going to end crazy.
But that's pretty much essentially what I believe personally. Like, I know a lot of people. It's like these guys make such and such money, off these guys, but at the same time, like, we still got to remember this is still a game. If you make $1 million off playing a game, you're blessed. Period. So I don't want to hear a damn thing about they make $1 billion of. Well, you making $1 million. You know how many people out here working, $15, $9 hour job and crap. Like, look, it's a blessing regardless. So I don't want to hear anything about any football player complaining about money, especially when you've had, 10 plus, even 5 years. 5 years and $1 million, bro. You like, give me $5 million. I'm still working up to that $5 million. So I want to hear players complaining about $5 million, especially when you got guys up here going day to day in these dang factories, busting their ass, busting their damn, like, all they doing is picking up these big ass, heavy ass tires. And
don't fucking remind me. I already had a bad day today as it is already.
That's why I said that. Like, people have been complaining about a million. Or he only made $1 million. Bro, he playing a kid's game. You're blessed to be making money for a kid's game. I'm blessed to be talking football with you guys. You know what I'm saying? We're blessed.
How much do you love it? Bro, how much do you love it? Like, what happened doing it for the love of the game? Like, that's what I hate. Like, what happened to just doing it for the love of the game? Like, before I was getting paid, like, we're not getting paid big money to do this, but even before I was making money to do this, hey, look, I would sit here and talk football anytime, anywhere, because I love to do it. So what happened to guys playing because they love the sport? Like you said, you playing a child's game. You know how many people would love to get drafted? Like, there's a lot of guys out there would love to be in your position. And that's why I think he just screwed himself. I don't know if y'all heard what Le'Veon what he said, but I think he really screwed himself over. What he said about Andy Reid.
Gotta be appreciative. Like I said, man, you just gotta be appreciative and stay humble, because, like I said, man, not everybody is blessed to make $1 million. So when you make $1 million, man, make it count. Stop looking at yourself and like you the only person that matters, because when it all comes down, this is something that a lot of people don't look at also. Like, they don't really look at Jerry Jones being he is the guy that pays this person, that works for this person. Like, he is a guy that has employees on top of employees. He has rent to pay. Y'all think that damn stadium is free? Bro, he got to pay light bills. He got to pay food and all this type of stuff to keep the stadium going. This is the same thing for Arthur Blank. None of this shit is free. They didn't build that stadium for free. That building was built because it offers jobs to people. So guess what? If Julio is being stingy, Julio done rob. people like myself whoever works at the Benz. Because guess what? You're not gonna have fans coming there to see Julio. So as players, you got to look at someone other than yourself, and this is one of the main reasons. All right, I got several cousins that work, at the Benz, but they only make money if the Benz is open. Think about that for a second.
Hey, I was about to say too. You ain't got to bring up the damn tires, Mike. Man, my tire hours is between 6 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. I don't want to hear nothing about no tire.
I'm sorry, bro.
but like we say about the football players, like you said, you go get your money. Like you said, it's all that. But the thing is, don't ever take it for granted. Because there's about 9 billion people that wish they had your position. Well, ain't that many, but that's estimating. But yeah, I kind of want to get into something else too. I saw it in the comment. It was actually in the comments earlier, but I want to get your take on this. So apparently, NFL.com has listed Isaiah Oliver as a free safety now.
I told you so. Hey man, I've been telling y'all. Hey, I made the breakdown video and all. This said this for a while. That man's skill sets. He's big. He's fast. He doesn't have great hips, but he has good enough hips to play safety. And he has long arms and super crazy range. All right, side to side range. He's not one of those guys that has great hips to play corner consistently. That's why he's so much. That's why he's so much better in the slot, because you don't really have to you don't have to rely solely on your athleticism. You got the linebacker. You got a safety over top. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's best for him. He knows, he sees, and he can react, and he can use that length. And like I said, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised one bit.
I love it. That's all I'm gonna say. I love it. I love seeing Oliver at that safety position. And I don't know who talked about it in their show. I don't know if it was us or if it was guys on Saturdays, Red Clay Sports, but they basically were talking about us running like a three safety at that time on defense. And that's what I think this is about. It's about putting players in positions to succeed. I don't care where you line these guys up at. When I did my show to put a plug in on Wednesday, what's the word, Dirty Bird? I talked about it. They were talking about Deion Jones. He gonna line up outside. He gonna line up inside. He gonna line up where he can make plays. That's what Dean Pease cares about. And that's what I love about Dean Pease is he's not gonna continue to continuously put Oliver out there on the island at the right or left corner where a guy can just run by him when he knows that that's not his strength. He's gonna do whatever he does best. So whatever he's seen on his tape that he likes about Isaiah Oliver or every single player on this defense, he's gonna use each and every one of these players like a chess piece. He's gonna put you in the best position to succeed. So Isaiah Oliver, I feel like he's a football player. That's what they were saying on Saturday. He's not a corner. He's not a safety. He can do a lot of different things. But I'm just glad that we have coaches now that's going to put these players in positions where they can succeed. And they're not going to force these guys into a box. Let these guys do what they do best. And then that's what I'm loving about a guy like Dean Pease. And that's what I'm loving about Arthur Smith and his coaching staff talking about we're going to allow these players to do what they do best. We're going to allow them to give their input. Ask the player. Ask Isaiah Oliver what he does best and where he thinks he fits best on your defense. He'll tell you. He knows that he's not the fastest when it comes to long range speed. He's a guy that has great short area quickness. He's not a guy once he's beat. Once Isaiah Oliver's beat, he's beat. He doesn't have that speed to catch up. So he's a guy that needs everything out in front of him. So safety or even that nickel corner, that's a great position for him. He's the new Brian Poole. I keep saying it. He's Brian Poole. He's a great tackler in space. He has great instincts. So that's what he needs to be. So whether that's safety, whether that's playing some linebacker, whatever you got to do, Put this guy in a position where he can succeed. That's all I care about.
So what we're saying is we're going to be seeing a lot of 2-4-5 defense this year.
I believe so. I believe so. I think that's exactly where the trend for the NFL is going anyway. You got linebackers like White and Deion Jones that are smaller. These guys like 220, and they're fast as all get up. So it's like I think that's where the league is going anyway. You could have some packages where Deion even lines up as safety. Like he has that range. He has great hips. He has that great footwork. You can blitz him from all types of angles. And like I said before, man, it's like there's nothing Deion can't do. There's nothing he can't do. And when you look him compared to a lot of safeties, he looks like a safety. He's just closer to the line.
Hey, let all the athletes be out on the field and do their thing.
That's it.
Because I know I'm looking forward to see Eric Harris. Because, he's another one of those.
He's another one. Yep.
One of those safety / linebackers you can put back there too. But let me see. Let's see what else. Bruce Wayne said 3-3-5. Nah, give me that 2-4-5. It's basically damn nickel package anyway. You just got more. You just got athletes pass rushing instead of just big guys. Jordan, that
one or two big guys in the middle of the field. That's pretty much it.
Exactly. This would have been perfect if we would have had Snacks Harrison. I'm telling you, we would have had Snacks Harrison. This would have been perfect.
It'd have been perfect. We got my guy Marvin Wilson. I'm gonna have to bring a picture. On my show Wednesday, I'm gonna have to have a picture of that dude. That dude is huge, dog. That's what we needed. That dude built like a refrigerator, dog. That's what we need.
Oh man. Yeah, like I said, Snacks would have been perfect, but like I said, we couldn't get no worse than last year. So, like I said, I'm excited to see what Dean Pease does for this. Like I said, if it is a 2-4-5 or multiple fronts, like I said, as long as we are not predictable, I think we're good. That's what hurt us. We was too damn predictable.
Yeah, that was definitely. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm distracted by this comment. I don't know what the hell he trying to say.
Well,
don't ran up. I don't know what the hell. I'm like, huh?
Hold on, let me see. The ran up out of town with. Where did the Ray Lewis Club girl run to?
Yeah, you drunk, man. What?
Oh no, what? Oh Lord. Let's get to this $5. There you go. Hey, hold on. $5.
Super chat in the building.
Mr. Daniel Bell, he said, AFN, Jew Talk Sports is right. The Atlanta Falcons are going to the playoff. I put my check on it. Okay. Hey, they got a chance to. Like I said, last year we were literally 7 or 8 plays away from being 12-4. Now, like I said, that sounds crazy as hell to say that, but if you actually looked at the game closely, Drew, what did you always say? It comes down to that 1, 3, 4, 5 plays.
Every game. The momentum shifters. It comes down to those 3 or 4 plays a game that change the game. So, I mean, I definitely think we're a playoff team. I've been putting on Twitter, and that's why Daniel Bell said he with me. I said with or without Julio. That was prior to Julio being traded. I said this Falcons team is going to the playoffs. They're going to the look, barring injury, I always had to say barring injury because football is one of them sports where you never know. But barring injury, as long as Matt Ryan stays upright, this team is going to the playoffs. Like I said, I'll always take a great play caller over a great athlete or a great player any day. And that's what New England does. You better not say you want to check in New England, because they'll cut you in a minute. That's what happened with the linebacker that they had. I can't remember his name, but he made a Pro Bowl and he said he wanted to be like the highest paid linebacker. Next thing you know, he was on the Browns. What's old boy name? I think he ended up coming back for a cheaper deal later on. I can't think of his name right now. I can't think of his name, but he was like an inside linebacker or outside linebacker for the Patriots.
I know who you're talking about. I forget his name.
It wasn't
Jamie Collins. Jamie Collins. He was talking crazy, talking about I want to be the highest paid. It was like a Sunday night football game. I'll never forget. He was like, I want to be the highest paid linebacker. He made one Pro Bowl, and next thing you know, that next year he was gone. So they don't play that, dog. They don't play that. If you start talking crazy outside your neck, talking about I want to be the highest paid player, it will get rid of you in a hot second in a New York minute. So I definitely agree. Like, this team is built, they're playoff ready. This team is playoff ready. As long as you have that quarterback, if you got an elite quarterback, you have a chance. And with Kyle Pitts, Hayden Hurst, Calvin Ridley, you got the weapons. And then that four-headed monster in the backfield, and then an aggressive offensive line that you gonna run the ball, as we always talk about. Oh, this team is definitely gonna be a playoff team. Going back to that smash mouth, and we know Matt Ryan is deadly. With an offensive line in the running game, Matt Ryan is deadly. And that's why I say he's gonna be in the MVP conversation. So playoffs, you can book that. If we stay healthy, playoffs, we definitely gonna make a playoff to get a playoff spot.
Hey, Devon said if you cannot play for Andy Reid, then you might as well go to the crib and sit. Yeah, Le'Veon. Yeah, without being in Pittsburgh, you kind of look like you on the slosh running side of the game.
I mean, if you say anything about Andy Reid, you got to be a dick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Andy Reid is the nicest human being on earth. I ain't never heard a bad thing about him as far as his former players, and all of a sudden you come out and say he lied to me. Like, seriously? Like, this is the NFL. Things change at the drop of a dime. Some guys are hot, and sometimes as a coach, you cannot. No matter how many times you promise the guy snaps, you're going to get X amount of snaps. Sometimes this dude is just doing this damn thing. We saw it with, let's just say, just anybody at this point. Let's just say, Deion Jones. Like, you got guys like Deion Jones, Devondre Campbell. Like, we've seen plenty of games where Devondre Campbell was the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to ride the hot guy. So that's what good coaches do. So if he promised you snap, it ain't nothing personal, bro. Somebody else just doing their thing. That's how you coach. You got to ride the hot guy. Bro, you old. Let's be honest. You old as hell, man. You're not a young running back anymore. So I don't even know why you even think that. You should have thought about that when you should have thought about that when you took a year off because you wanted more money. That's your fault.
What Mike meant to say is you're not a good running back no more. You're not a good running back no more. You a has-been is what we call it. You a has-been. You washed up, dog. You washed, dog. Like we said, it's a reason the Jets got rid of you, dog. It's a reason the Jets let you
go. Hey. All I know is we're going to call him Fred Flintstone from now on. Yeah. Every time y'all remember Fred Flintstone, we used to bowl that ball and be on them tippy toes. That's Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
The motherfucker feet be moving like about 15 miles per hour going nowhere. Oh man. But like I said, you gotta think Andy Reid has a long coaching tree, man. Like I said, you like this is why I say you never want to make those comments public. If you felt like that about him, you keep that to yourself. Because now you put yourself in a situation where nobody might want to get you. You might have to retire.
I don't know which player what it was, but they came out and pretty much said it's like, bro, Andy Reid got a coaching tree like all around the league. So they're gonna make sure that your ass retire. And this is a player that said this. So the verdict is already out on him being a greedy player. And that's why I said Julio better watch his steps, because what you don't want is to piss off these owners and these executives and even the players. Like I said, people not looking at the players like, look, bro, I restructured my deal to make sure that you got paid. Think about that for a second. They restructured that deal, agreed to take less money so you could get paid, and you turn around and request a trade. Players take that crap seriously. They take that to heart, bro. It's like you taking food off their table, taking, they could be trying to use that for their kids, you know what I mean, or their family or whatever, and you stealing their money and going somewhere else. So players take that seriously, bro.
Hey, I want to give shout out to everybody that throwing this red and black in this chat, man.
Red and black, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Lee.
We the last of the Mohicans, because since Justin Fields ain't on this team, we know about 90% of the fan base and gave up on him. So, hey, these are the last of the Mohicans.
Hearing his name, I'm so like, I'm literally praying to God if I've never. Please, Lord, have mercy. I don't want to ever hear that name ever again. I'm so sick and tired of hearing Justin Fields.
Hey, I got a question. Okay, I heard something today at work. It was one of the drivers. They came in, was talking a whole bunch of mess about the Falcons and stuff like that. I want to know if does this sentence make any sense? Okay. Y'all ready for it?
Oh, God.
We ready?
Okay, he said he was mad at the Falcons draft an offense. They drafted offensively in the draft, right? Which I tried to tell him they drafted balanced both ways. He said the offense wasn't the problem, but Matt Ryan was the problem. I said, that's the quarterback of the offense. So what the fuck are you saying?
oh my God.
No, yeah. Let me repeat that again. I want people in the chat and watching this. I want to know how y'all feel about this comment. He said the offense wasn't the problem, but Matt Ryan was the problem. Hold on. I gotta show you. This is how I was looking that whole time. I was like, I was looking like, dude.
Huh? Right. I'm stuttering because this is the stuff that we see in our Falcons group, the Atlanta Falcons Nation. All right, I'm almost 20,000 strong. So you guys go to Facebook. If you like Facebook, go to Atlanta Falcons Nation on Facebook. All right, this is the type of stuff that we see, and I'm just like, how is the offense not the problem, but Matt Ryan is the problem? Like that don't
make no sense. That's why I said
make it make sense.
Make it make sense, bro.
Because I don't know what the hell offense you. Look, because if you saying Matt Ryan was problem, I don't know what the hell offense you saw because we couldn't run the ball worth shit.
Like seriously.
Matt Ryan was the
offense. Exactly. With them scatterbrained.
Matt Ryan was the only offense we were seeing, dog. Matt Ryan was the offense.
Look, I'm about to say, goddamn, that scatterbrain ass offense they was running. I'm surprised that motherfucker didn't get killed out there. like, just listen to how that sounded again. Let me say it one more time. Hold on, let me go ahead. I'm gonna put the face back. I'm gonna put this up. The offense wasn't the problem. The offense wasn't the problem, but Matt Ryan was the problem. Boy, that was a power toast moment for my ass right there. Well, I was like, oh Lord have mercy. I said, this dude did not just say this, and he was serious too. He was serious. I said,
Hey, um, um, dude, I got one question. Please tell me, are you from America? That's all I need to know because I don't know what this means at all. Can somebody make sense to me? Because I'm still trying to figure that out.
Ryan, that kind of money you gave Vic, ain't nobody buying Madden because they can't use him like. So he's using a Madden reference to compare Vic to Matt Ryan. That's what it looked like.
All right, we done with your comments for the rest of the night.
Ooh boy, Lord have mercy, boy. Yeah, that made y'all making me laugh. I was like, boy, I'd have had like out of the bad day that I had, boy, y'all have made me laugh like that.
Woo, Lord have mercy.
Oh, just to give y'all update, the Hawks are down 77-75 right near the end of the third quarter.
So they're making a little run. They're making a little run. All right. At least they going down fighting. Like this is the number one seed, man. This is a number one seed. At least they going down with a fight.
I think the fans are kind of giving it to Joel Embiid because he's sitting there telling the fans to shut the fuck up.
I mean, all that little twinkling and twirling he be doing, I mean, he needs to sit his little soft ass down. All he do is twinkle and twirl for damn fouls, and you 7 foot tall. Sit your ass down.
That's exactly what he just did too.
But I know his game. That's why I said what I said. All he do is damn twinkle and twirl and try to fall on the damn ground. 7 foot tall, too big for that crap.
Here you go. Clay Mel said, "Madden ain't real football."
Exactly.
Oh my god!
Like you said, he can play Madden, but I know damn well it wasn't Madden. I wasn't Madden 06 to Madden 09 or all Madden. When that vision cone came into play, I know he couldn't play with Vic after that. But go ahead, Drew. You got something to say on that asinine ass statement I heard?
I mean, we didn't talked about it already. I'm just gonna give y'all a little plugger. Wednesday night, my show, I'm gonna talk about Matt Ryan. So I really didn't want to say too much, but I mean, we talk about Matt Ryan or Julio every single show because we know the haters are gonna come out. But when you hated on like Matt Ryan, that just means you great. You know, they hating on his greatness, and once he's gone, the game is gonna miss a guy like Matt Ryan. The Falcons fans, they're gonna miss Matt Ryan. So I'm just enjoying Matt Ryan while he's still here. Seeing Julio, I never thought in a million years that Julio would not be an Atlanta Falcon. I really thought he was going to be a Falcon for life. So I'm savoring every moment, every game this year that I watch of Matt Ryan. I'm savoring all of the moments because we never know like what's going through Matt Ryan's head. You know what I'm saying? Because after you've improving yourself time and time again, if you guys seen Matt Ryan's interview initially going to minicamp, he kind of talked a little bit about, they asked him about the Justin Fields, or they asked him about us possibly drafting the quarterback number one, and did they talk to him about that? And he basically was just like, looked annoyed. Like he looked annoyed. And I think at this point, Matt Ryan, after all he's given, like I said, we're spoiled. As fans, we're spoiled. And I feel like we got to treat our stars and our players a lot better as a fan base. Man, these guys are giving all they got, man. Matt Ryan took us to a Super Bowl. He didn't win it, but Mike talked about it all the time. How many players have never played in the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? So we got to just give these guys their respect when they come down to it. You might hate Matt Ryan. It's a lot of guys that I didn't like when they were in the league and things of that nature, but you miss out on that greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy like Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, when he retired, I'm a LeBron James fan. I was never really a huge Kobe Bryant fan, but I didn't respect his game like I should have. And I didn't really enjoy why he was in the league until he was done playing. And then when I go back and watch his games and stuff like that, and now that he's gone, like literally passed on, God rest his soul, it's like now when I see clips of him, it's like nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I see a Kobe Bryant clip now, him playing, it's like, dang, that guy was like special. So while you got the chance, let's just savor the moments. Let's stop all the hate. Let's just savor these moments. Like I said, I would have never thought in a million years if somebody told me to put my house on it. I didn't think that Julio Jones. You can go on my channel. I don't delete none of my videos. I said it in one of my videos. I didn't see Julio being traded or wanting out of Atlanta. He seemed like he was just a loyal dude. So at this point, I'm savoring every game this year. I'm savoring every moment I can of Matt Ryan until he retires at this point, because we're witnessing greatness. Whether he wins a Super Bowl or not, we're witnessing greatness. We know our track record with quarterbacks. So at this point, I'm begging Matt Ryan, please retire here. Please don't retire early. Finish out this contract, please, because I don't want to go back to the Chris Redman days. I don't want to go back to them Byron Leftwich, Joey Harrington. Do I need to say any more of the names that was trash? Like, I don't want to go back to them days. I'm good. I'm good on that. So as long as Matt Ryan here, I'm savoring every moment, dog, until this dude's career is over. I hope he retires as the Atlanta Falcon. I hate that Julio didn't, but I'm savoring every moment. That dumb statement that fan made, I don't really care. It's people that talk out their side of their neck all the time. But I tell them, bring me the stats, the facts, and the truth. Forget about your feelings. Those are all narratives. Bring us the stats, the facts, and the truth. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit on Wednesday night. We're going to get into they decided to keep Matt Ryan over a Julio Jones. I wonder why. Because I don't know if you guys, seen the Julio Jones interview with the Tennessee Titans, his first interview there. But he basically stated that him breaking up with the Atlanta Falcons was a mutual type deal. It was mutual.
Damn.
Look, there you go. He said it was mutual. I don't believe him. But he said it was mutual. But if that's the case, everybody talk about Matt Ryan. That says we got a lot of confidence in Matt Ryan.
I'm so glad you got to go on that because you got to go in on that one, because who the hell give you $66 million and say you can go to another team? Like, stop.
Exactly.
Damn liar.
So we're going to definitely dive into the Matt Ryan, and we're going to touch a little bit on Julio, but it's going to mainly be about Matt Ryan, because what it tells me, if he really went to the organization like they said in March, and I know we don't supposed to be making this about Julio, but if he really went to the organization like they said he did before the draft, saying that he wanted to be traded at the end of last season, why didn't they break up the team? If Matt Ryan's trash, we should have drafted a quarterback, because they knew that Julio was on his way out. So if Julio mixed Matt Ryan, why did they draft Kyle Pitts? If Matt Ryan's trash, because basically if we go back to the initial interview with Arthur Blank, they said, and Rich McKay, they said that the next coach and GM is going to determine the fate of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. We're not making that decision for them. And they decided to keep Matt Ryan. In my mind, Arthur Smith is a top 5 offensive coordinator in the NFL right now.
Easy.
And so if he seen Matt Ryan and said, I think he got a lot left in the tank, that's what came out of his mouth. He said he think Matt Ryan got a lot left in the tank. So he had his chance. He could have took Justin Fields or a top quarterback. And for what they're saying, they knew Julio wanted out ahead of the draft. So that tells me that they really believed in a guy like Matt Ryan. As much as the fans hate Matt Ryan, they wanted Matt Ryan here with or without Julio. So that tells me they got a lot of confidence, and that just shows me how great of a quarterback Matt Ryan really is. Because they didn't blow the team up because Julio wanted out. If Julio was really the franchise dude, if he wanted out, you would have thought they would have basically traded both of those guys or cut both of those guys. So we're going to talk about that on Wednesday night. It's going to get interesting. But Matt Ryan is that dude. That's all I'm going to say. Matt Ryan's that dude.
Hey, I'm going to say, I see everybody got their Matt Ryan hater jokes and stuff. Remember, they're not Matt Ryan haters. We call them Matt Ryan obsessors. Because they are the first ones that will bring him up before anything else. There's a couple guys on Twitter that keep bringing this up every month.
He got the Dookie dreads in his head. I'll just say that. I'll just leave it at that. He know who he is. He probably here talking. He probably here with a fake profile.
Crying. Incognito. Yeah, incognito chilling.
He say call him Magneto.
Yeah, incognito. I know, dog.
Yeah, and they the ones that like to call us stupid because we support him. I like at that point I'm like, bruh, just go to another fan base. That's why I say I'm kind of glad that we got this regime as it is right now because it's pretty much weeding out the people that we don't have to deal with as fans. It's weeding them out.
Yeah.
If you're not a real fan, just leave. If you don't like Matt Ryan, just leave. Go be a Green Bay fan. Aaron Rodgers give you every reason to like him. So go like him in Green Bay. Why are you here complaining? Why are you on our channel complaining? Go to Green Bay. Tom Grossi, he's probably the biggest Packers fan, and he's probably the biggest Packers YouTube channel over there. Go to his channel. You guys can gladly go to another team. It's plenty of YouTubers on this platform that you can go to. So why stay here and cry every single day, every week, every month, every year about one player? Just leave. We don't care.
And the thing is, I say is before y'all leave, if you got Falcon merchandise, I didn't make this disclaimer last time, so I'm finna make the disclaimer this time. I'm finna have a picture for this too, so y'all be ready for it. If you are a Falcon fan, or a denounced Falcon fan because your player didn't get drafted, before you go to another team, give us your Atlanta Falcon merchandise here at AFN, and we can auction it off to the people that really want it. Because my thing is, I'm not gonna put energy into watching a team I don't like because of this guy.
Right.
Especially if this is a guy that literally is touching the ball 100% of the time. I could see if it was like a guy that didn't play much that you didn't like. Okay, you can deal with that. But if it's a guy that's literally right there in front of you, who touching the ball all the time, and you don't like him, I'm like, dude, I'm not finna put my energy. Yes, we LS coming with the jokes like hell. He talking about remember, they're not haters, they're obsessors, man. We call them obsessors. He said they have dry bowel movements. They going in on them now, bro.
It's stuck. They can't. It's stuck. It's stuck. They just stuck on Ryan.
Where he talk about like that South Park episode where Stan Dad took the get his book of it was a big ass mountain and all the, but in that case it's a big ass mountain with Justin Fields' picture on it.
Oh my god, man. Y'all are something else.
But we getting on to it. We're gonna go ahead and wind it down here for the night. Like I said, appreciate everybody tuning in to us. Jew Talk Sports, Mad Mike Sports. Yeah, y'all got any final words y'all want to say before we skedaddle on out of here?
Oh, I do. Oh, I just want to thank the fans. I want to thank the fans for getting Atlanta Falcons Nation to 1,500 subscribers. I seen that we just hit that milestone, and y'all helped me get 1,200 subscribers yesterday. Shout out to the fans. We do this for you guys. We try to give you guys that positive Atlanta Falcons talk. We try to give you guys the facts, the stats, and the truth. Like, we're not going to give y'all ESPN and a lot of these narratives that are out there. We're going to give y'all the facts. We're going to tell you guys the truth. And at the end of the day, I'm a fan of the logo. I roll with the logo. I don't care what players are let go. As Mike said, he's been saying this for years. Don't get used to seeing certain players here. Like I said, I would have never in a million years thought that a player like Julio Jones wouldn't be here. But now that he's gone, I'm still an Atlanta Falcons fan. I was a fan before Julio got here. I'm going to be a fan long after he leaves, and any other player. Matt Ryan is not going to play forever. So all of these haters, if you a Falcons fan, a true fan, you support the team. So at the end of the day, Matt Ryan is just a part of the team at the end of the day. We need all 53 guys to do their job at the end of the day to win the Super Bowl. So if you guys are just rooting, to me, that shows me that you're not a fan when you continue to bash guys on the team, whoever it is. Vic Beasley when he was here, Matt Ryan, whoever the player is, I support everybody that's on this team. Whether I dislike the player or not, I support the team. So at the end of the day, we got to do a better job at the fan base to band together, because at the end of the day, I want to win. I don't care who the player is. I want to win a championship. I'm so tired of the Falcons, the 28-3 jokes, us choking. I'm tired of that. It's time for us to get a championship and hoist the Lombardi. So until we do that, I don't care nothing about the joke, all of that kind of stuff. I'm down to business. Y'all see Arthur Smith face, how he be looking in these interviews. This dude look like he's about business. And that's what I love about this new regime. These guys want guys that's going to get the job done. Forget the prissy superstars. Forget that. They want guys that's going to get the job done. And that's what New England goes after. They go after players that can get the job done. They don't care about big contracts. They don't care about commercials. They don't care about none of that. They care about winning. And as an organization, the Falcons have to build this winning culture. And I think that they're doing that with these guys. Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith, he's holding these guys accountable. And I'm loving what I'm seeing so far out of OTAs. I'm loving what I'm hearing. Having these guys running laps when they make mistakes, I like that. And it don't matter who it is. Kyle Pitts, I heard he jumped off sides. Go run a lap. First round pick, I don't care. Run a lap. If you mess up, run a lap. I like that, because you're going to hold every single player, from the best, from the franchise player down to the last player on this team, is going to be held accountable. And that's how you build a winning foundation, a winning culture. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Follow everybody. You guys know where to find us. Jew Talk Sports, Mad Mike Sports, Just Kstylz, Twisted Torch TV. You guys continue to support us. We appreciate you guys. And we're trying to give you guys as much content as possible. We got Just Kstylz on Monday. What's the Word, Dirty Bird on Wednesday. Kstylz now is doing his the combo show on Thursdays, Friday Night Madness. So we're trying to give you guys, and Red Clay Sports on Saturday. So we're trying to give you guys something almost every day of the week. We're trying to keep this pumping. So look, it's a movement. As I've been hearing Rich say, I'm going to steal his line. Atlanta Falcons Nation is worldwide. So you guys continue to tell everybody you know to support us here. However you want to do that. Like, share, subscribe, super chats, cash apps. We take it all, but we appreciate you guys at the end of the day, because we all make up Atlanta Falcons Nation. With that being said, I'm going to kick it over to Mad Mike.
Hey, before we get to Mike, let me go and give a shout out to Henri Oaks here. He said, I come here for the positivity and the Falcon loyalty. Glad to support you guys and be a part of the AFN family. Hey, we all the nation. This is the nation. It ain't just us. It's everybody that watch the session. Exactly.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to get that quick one out. Go ahead, Mike.
I'll say this, man. It's probably gonna be a little bit slightly to the left. I'll say this. It's like what we do at AFN. We give our heart. Like I don't do anything. I don't get on this, this platform, do these videos, day by day, without giving my all, my 100% effort, because I believe in this team. I believe in all you guys. And when I get on here, man, sometimes I don't feel good. Like sometimes I just don't feel good at all. But when I get on here, man, the lights come on. You guys, you bring these questions. You make us smile. It's like I don't want you guys to, we appreciate that, Condo. I don't want you guys to, like, even when I cuss your asses out, don't take that for granted, that you guys really do help us in our day-to-day life. This is real. We are the nation. We in it together. And like I said, man, you're not going to get no real shit. You ain't going to get this real shit everywhere. What we do here, we different. We different here in Atlanta Falcons Nation. We actually gives a damn. All right. So when I tell you guys, y'all help us, in our day-to-day lives, like I said, man, it's true. It's from the heart. It's genuine. You guys continue, man. I cannot wait for this season. But That's that real shit. That's the real. That's from my heart, dog, and that's all I got to say about that. Hit that subscribe button, Atlanta Falcons Nation. 1,500. The next milestone that we're really trying to get Kstylz to a 1K. All right, got to get him to 1K, man. And like I said, God bless everybody, and that's all I got to say about that, man.
Hey, the main thing I want to say is I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Like I said, we do this not just for us, but we do this for y'all. And like I said, it's all about the conversation. Like I said, even if we might be right, we might be wrong, and what facts that we have. But at the end of the day, we're all Atlanta Falcon fans. And I want to give a shout out to everybody getting me over the 300 mark. I appreciate y'all for that.
See?
Oh yeah, see, I'm making little strides. I'm making little strides here and there, man. I'm about 700. I'm about 692 away from 1,000. So we're taking it one day at a time. Exactly. But I'm gonna close it out like this, man. Like I said, we sitting here. Like I said, we got the Hawks playing right now. They're down by 4. It's 92-88. Hey, like I said, this is a number 1 seed that they're going against in Philadelphia. The main thing we wanted to see was a team that wasn't going to give up. And Travis Schlenk, why hasn't Nate McMillan got a damn contract yet? Hey, motherfucker, y'all best to get this shit on and popping. Right. Because this is a clipped winged Hawks team that is trying to battle against these big old Giants.
Right. This is a number 1 seed, man.
But I'm gonna just say it like this, man. We can have our opinions on what we think this team's direction need to be at. But the reality is we have to respect each other's opinions, because the thing about it is once you start getting to personal attacks because their opinion is different from yours. See, now it just sounds like you want to fight. Like I said, I'm not saying this to anybody in particular, but the thing is you have to respect people's opinion. Rather it be right, rather it be wrong, or it might be different from yours. At the end of the day, this is all about debate. It's seeing points of views from different perspectives and different sides of the glass. Like I said, people here in the chat that watch our shows every week and stuff like that, hell, they be putting us up on stuff that we didn't know. And this is what AFN is about. It, like I said, they always said. I always heard that the smartest man in the room is the one that's willing to learn.
Learn everything. Yes, sir.
And the dumbest person is the one that knows everything. Because there's no evolution in thought. There's no evolution in character. You must always learn. Every day is a learning experience. That's all I'm that's what I'm gonna say on that. But like I said, AFN, like I said, I appreciate everybody. Like I said, Mad Mike Sports, Miss Maggie T, the producer, Jude Talk Sports, J Rock for Life, Twisted Torch TV, Rich, the Magnificent. Like I said, but like I said, exactly VF Baller. Like I said, ATM 3405. Let's get it, GA. Like I said, everybody that's here in the chat, like I said, y'all have helped us on a journey that hasn't even been a year old, and we already at 1,500 subscribers.
It ain't even a year old, man.
It ain't even a year old, and we already hitting 1,500. Like I said, my slogan is with AFN, we ain't here to play, but we here to stay. And I'm gonna end it on that.
Hey, I like that.
I'm gonna end on this. I ain't forget you, Rakondo King. We thank you for that super chat, man.
Exactly.
We got to ring the victory bell for that.
Yes, I think people still waiting on that wrestling content from us, Mike. We might have to we have to come up with something, bro. Because
it's
hey. Hawks are up by 2 right now.
I got the game cast right here.
I know you got the game. I'm just talking about the people that might not be watching the game right now.
I got the game cast.
Okay. But yeah,
you talking
like
about
I said,
people like me that ain't got the game.
So like I said, if you have to deal with people that are Matt Ryan, if y'all call Matt Ryan haters, I call them obsessors, because they the main ones that will bring him up but get mad at you for talking about him.
Yeah.
like I said, if they come up with a comment of he can't run or he's not Michael Vick, don't pay him no mind. Let it go. Don't throw your energy trying to defend, don't spend your energy trying to debate somebody that don't want to be.
Right. Your mic just went out, dog. Your mic.
Hold on.
The haters trying to set you up, bro.
They trying to shut me up, bro.
Smithers is back, dog.
Man, get your bright ass out of here with that shit. But keyword, respect everybody's damn opinion if it's different from yours. That at the end of the day, we all right.
Yeah,
just from a different perspective. So, Mike, what we gotta tell them? You ain't gotta go home,
but you gotta get the hell up out of here.
And you got one thing to say here. Man, don't be really, nigga. Anime,
really.
See, y'all gonna she gonna maybe turn the Ike Turner in this motherfucker. Hold on. All right, man, y'all out. Deuces.